Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's a bright and sunshiny day. Hey, how are you? Oh, I'm painting again today. I'm gonna finish my picture. I don't know what it's gonna look like. That's all I feel like doing. You know, I'll show you. I even got the water ready. But the paint's still out. Yep. Hi, baby. Are you comfy? Huh? Yeah. You comfy? Yeah. Okay. She looked at me as if to say, "What the heck?" Hey, Judith, how are you? Oh, it's okay, Judith. People get busy and stuff. I almost grabbed my paint water. It's only water right now, but still. I asked for lemonade for my brother. I don't even know if he came. If he brought it. But he brought home salad, I think. I don't know. We'll find out later. You can see the lines from my BiPAP machine. Even though I took it off probably at 6, and I stayed in bed until 7. Okay, let's get going. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive them that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Thank you, Jehovah, for another beautiful day on your beautiful earth, and thank you for allowing us to wake up today. And thank you for what you did for us in the past, present, and what you will do for us in the future. Jehovah, please look after Tate, Cindy Lee, King Charles, Chad Griffith, Joe Griffin, Joe Biden, Michael Bolton, and Ric Flair. All have cancers, different stages, different kinds. Please give them physical and mental strength to get through it, and please cure them. Celine Dion has stiff person syndrome. Please take away her seizures and her pain that she goes through. And Sarah has really bad migraines, and so does her wife Jess. Jess just had treatment for her eyes yesterday. Please let her not get a black eye this time. So, but if it's it's not the worst thing. So that goes away. But please let this treatment work for her eyes really well. And thank you for letting them get a treat yesterday. They went to Chick-fil-A. Sorry. And please help her with the rest of her ailments, as well as Sarah and her mother. And bless Sarah's family. Bless Jess's side of the family. You know what? Bless the whole entire family, both sides. Jenny, Tiffany, Robin Taylor, Miss Diana daughters, Arnie, Vicky family, Christina Anderson, and Nessa. But I think she's recovered now. Please help them in Jesus' name, amen. Yeah, I think she's recovered by now. Okay. Okay, let's get going. This is a good one today. The plagues. We'll see here. Oh, what did I... The Daily Text, Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. Shepherd my little sheep. I think we read something about the sheep yesterday. Yeah. Again he said, John chapter 21, verse 16. Again he said to him a second time, Simon, son of John, do you love me? He replied, Yes, Lord. You know I have affection for you. He said to him, Shepherd my little sheep. Yeah, we read this yesterday. That's okay. We can read it 5 more times. I don't mind. Shepherd the flock of God. The Apostle Peter urged his fellow elders. 1 Peter chapter 5, verses 1 through 4. Therefore, as a fellow elder, a witness of the sufferings of the Christ, and a sharer of the glory that is to be revealed, I make this appeal to the elders among you. Shepherd the flock of God under your care, serving as overseers, not under compulsion, but willingly before God. In other words, shepherd the sheep, not because you have to, because you want to. Not for love or dishonest gain, but eagerly, like you really want to do it. Not lording it over those who are God's inheritance, but becoming examples to the flock. And when the chief shepherd has been made manifest, you will receive the unfading crown of glory. Back to the article. If you are an elder, we know that you love your brothers and sisters and want to shepherd them. However, you may at times feel that you are so busy or so tired that you cannot fulfill that assignment. What can you do? Concerns to Jehovah. Peter wrote, If anyone ministers, let him do so as depending on the strength that God supplies. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 11. If anyone speaks, let him do so as speaking pronouncements from God. If anyone ministers, let him do so as depending on the strength that God supplies, so that in all things God may be glorified through Jesus Christ. The glory and the might are his forever and ever. Amen. Back to article. Your brothers and sisters may be facing problems that cannot be fully solved in this system of things. But remember that the chief shepherd, Jesus Christ, can help them beyond what you can do. He can do such both today and in the new world. God asks elders simply to love their brothers, to shepherd their brothers, and to become examples of the flock. Oh, Jehovah, please help. Judith Moya, with her eyesight, please heal her eyes so that she can see perfectly again. Well, better. See better again. In Jesus' name, amen. Now, learning lessons you can learn from the Bible. I can't believe we're on lesson 20. My congregation's starting this today, and I'll be raising my hand. I'm still gonna, what do you call it? Study it, though. So, so, oh, you're welcome, Judith. So, Judith, on Lessons from the Bible yesterday, um, on lesson 19, it goes along with these next two. It was about the first three plagues. You know, when Abraham and Aaron went to Pharaoh about letting the people go. So this is so we learned about the first three plagues. But number 19 was the burning bush. 18 was the burning bush. Then the first plague is 19. And now we're on number 20. The next six plagues. Just listen.
Lesson 20.
Please stay.
The next six plagues. Moses and Aaron went to tell Pharaoh God's message. If you don't let my people go, I will send gadflies to the land. Swarms of gadflies invaded the houses of the Egyptians, both rich and poor. The whole land was full of gadflies.
Ew.
But in the land of Goshen, where the Israelites lived, there were no gadflies. Starting with this fourth plague, the plagues hurt only the Egyptians. Pharaoh pleaded, "Beg Jehovah to take these flies away. Your people can go." But when Jehovah took the gadflies away, Pharaoh changed his mind. Would Pharaoh ever learn his lesson?
No.
Jehovah said, "If Pharaoh does not let my people go, the animals of the Egyptians will become sick and die." The next day, the animals began to die. But the animals of the Israelites didn't die. Still, Pharaoh was stubborn, and he wouldn't give in. Then Jehovah told Moses to go back to Pharaoh and throw ashes into the air. The ashes became dust that filled the air and settled on all the Egyptians. The dust caused painful sores to break out on all of the Egyptians and their animals. Even so, Pharaoh refused to let the Israelites go. Jehovah sent Moses back to Pharaoh with his message, "Are you still refusing to send my people away? Tomorrow hail will rain down on the land." The next hail, thunder, and fire. It was the worst storm Egypt had ever seen. All the trees and crops were ruined, but not those in Goshen. Pharaoh said, "Then you can go." But as soon as the hail and the rain stopped, Pharaoh changed his mind. Then Moses said, "Now locusts will eat any plants that were left over from the hailstorm." Millions of locusts ate up everything that was left in the fields and on the trees. Pharaoh pleaded, "Beg Jehovah to send these locusts away." But even after Jehovah stopped the locusts, Pharaoh was still stubborn. Jehovah told Moses, "Stretch out your hand toward the sky." Immediately, the sky became completely dark. For 3 days, the Egyptians could not see anything or anybody. Only the Israelites had light in their houses. Pharaoh said to Moses, "You and your people can go. Just leave your animals here." Moses said, "We must take our animals so that we can offer them to our God." Pharaoh was very angry. He shouted, "Get away from me. If I see you again, I will kill you." You will again see the distinction between a righteous person and a wicked person, between one serving God and one not serving him. Malachi 3.
Malachi chapter 3, verse 18. So here's the questions. What plagues did cause next? Well, he caused the mad flies, um, all the animals to get sick and die. They cause sores all over the people's bodies. Hail, locusts. The sky became dark for 3 days. The Egyptians could not see anything or anybody. Only Israelites had light in their houses. So, yeah. So, how were they different from the first three plagues? Oh boy. What was the first three plagues? Um, let me go back to the other page and see the first plagues. The first three plagues was, well, they were, the last three plagues was they turned the river into blood. Then all the frogs and all the gnats. But this was like, more intense. You know what I mean? The mad flies, oh my gosh. That's horrible. And then there was death, and then there was illness they caused. Hail can easily destroy. They destroyed probably the crops, and then a locust destroyed the rest of the crops. And then at night, that's scary. You know what I mean? Now let's listen to Exodus chapter 8, verse 20 through chapter 10, verse 29.
Then Jehovah said to Moses, "Get up early in the morning and station yourself in front of Pharaoh. Look, he is coming out to the water. And you must say to him, 'This is what Jehovah has said. Send my people away so that they may serve me. But if you do not send my people away, I will send on you, your servants and your people, and into your houses the gadfly. And the houses of Egypt will be full of gadflies, and they will even cover the ground they stand on. On that day, I will certainly set apart the land of Goshen, where my people are dwelling. No gadflies will exist there. And by this you will know that I, Jehovah, am here in the land. And I will make a distinction between my people and your people. Tomorrow this sign will take place.' And Jehovah did so, and heavy swarms of gadflies began to invade the house of Pharaoh and the houses of his servants and all the land of Egypt. The land was ruined by the gadflies. Finally, Pharaoh called Moses and Aaron and said,
'Go, sacrifice to your God in the land.'
But Moses said,
'It is not proper to do so, because what we would sacrifice to Jehovah our God would be detestable to the Egyptians. If we would make a sacrifice that was detestable to the Egyptians right before their eyes, would they not stone us? We will make a 3-day journey into the wilderness, and there we will sacrifice to Jehovah our God, just as he has said to us.'
Pharaoh now said,
'I will send you away to sacrifice to Jehovah your God in the wilderness. Only you must not go so far away. Plead in my behalf.'
Then Moses said,
'Now I am going away from you, and I will plead with Jehovah, and the gadflies will depart from Pharaoh, his servants, and his people tomorrow. But Pharaoh must stop trifling with us by refusing to send the people away to sacrifice to Jehovah.'
Moses then went out from Pharaoh and pleaded with Jehovah. So Jehovah did according to Moses' word, and the gadflies departed from Pharaoh, his servants, and his people. Not one was left. However, Pharaoh again hardened his heart and did not send the people away. Chapter 9. So Jehovah said to Moses, "Go into Pharaoh and say, 'This is what Jehovah, the God of the Hebrews, has said. Send my people away so that they may serve me. But if you refuse to send them away and you keep holding them, look, Jehovah's hand will come against your livestock in the field. On the horses, the donkeys, camels, the herd, and the flock, there will be a devastating plague. And Jehovah will certainly make a distinction between the livestock of Israel and the livestock of Egypt, and nothing that belongs to the Israelites will die.' Moreover, Jehovah set an appointed time, saying, 'Tomorrow Jehovah will do this in the land.' And Jehovah did this on the very next day, and all sorts of livestock of Egypt began to die, but not one of Israel's livestock died. When Pharaoh inquired, look, not so much as one of Israel's livestock had died. Nevertheless, Pharaoh's heart continued to be unresponsive, and he did not send the people away. Jehovah then said to Moses and Aaron, 'Fill both of your hands with soot from a kiln, and Moses must throw it into the air in front of Pharaoh. And it will become a fine dust on all the land of Egypt, and it will become festering boils on man and beast in all the land of Egypt.' So they took soot from a kiln and stood before Pharaoh, and Moses tossed it into the air, and it became festering boils, breaking out on man and beast. The magic practicing priests were unable to stand before Moses because of the boils, for they had developed on the magic practicing priests and on all the Egyptians. But Jehovah allowed Pharaoh's heart to become obstinate, and he did not listen to them, just as Jehovah had told Moses. Then Jehovah said to Moses, 'Get up early in the morning and station yourself in front of Pharaoh, and say to him, "This is what Jehovah, the God of the Hebrews, has said. Send my people away so that they may serve me. For now I am directing all my blows to strike your heart, your servants, and your people, so that you may know that there is no one like me in all the earth. For by now I could have thrust my hand out to strike you and your people with a devastating plague, and you would have been wiped out from the earth. But for this very reason I have kept you in existence, to show you my power and to have my name declared in all the earth. Are you still behaving arrogantly against my people by not sending them away? Here I will cause a very great hail to rain down tomorrow, about this time, such as has never occurred in Egypt from the day it was founded until now. Therefore, send word to bring all your livestock and all that is yours in the field under shelter. Every man and beast caught in the field and not brought into the house will die when the hail comes down on them. Anyone among Pharaoh's servants who feared Jehovah's word quickly brought his own servants and his livestock into the houses. But whoever did not take Jehovah's word to heart left his servants and his livestock in the field. Jehovah now said to Moses, 'Stretch out your hand toward the heavens, so that hail may come down on all the land of Egypt, on man and beast, and all the vegetation of the field in the land of Egypt.' So Moses stretched out his rod toward the heavens, and Jehovah sent thunder and hail, and fire fell down to the earth. And Jehovah kept making it rain down hail on the land of Egypt. There was hail, and there was fire flashing in the midst of the hail. It was very heavy. There had never been any like it in the land since Egypt had become a nation. The hail struck everything in the field throughout the land of Egypt, from man to beast, and it struck down all the vegetation and shattered all the trees of the field. Only in the land of Goshen, where the Israelites were, there was no hail. So Pharaoh sent for Moses and Aaron and said to them,
'I have sinned this time. Jehovah is righteous, and I and my people are in the wrong. Plead with Jehovah that there may be an end to God's thunder and hail. Then I will be willing to send you away, and you will not stay any longer.
So Moses said to him,
As soon as I go out of the city, I will spread out my hands before Jehovah. The thunder will stop, and the hail will not continue any longer, so that you may know that the earth belongs to Jehovah. But as for you and your servants, I know already that even then you will not fear Jehovah God.
Now the flax and the barley had been struck down, because the barley was in the ear, and the flax had flower buds. But the wheat and the spelt had not been struck down, because they were later crops. Moses now went out of the city from Pharaoh, and spread out his hands before Jehovah, and the thunder and the hail stopped, and the rain quit pouring down on the earth. When Pharaoh saw that the rain, the hail, and the thunder had stopped, he sinned again and hardened his heart, he as well as his servants. And Pharaoh's heart continued obstinate, and he did not send the Israelites away, just as Jehovah had stated through Moses.
Will he learn?
Chapter 10. Then Jehovah said to Moses, Go into Pharaoh, for I have allowed his heart and the hearts of his servants to become unresponsive, so that I may display these signs of mine right before him, and in order that you may declare to your sons and your grandsons how severely I have dealt with Egypt, and what signs I have performed among them. And you will certainly know that
Alarm clock. It's 8 o'clock. All is well.
I am Jehovah. So Moses and Aaron went into Pharaoh and said to him,
This is what Jehovah, the God of the Hebrews, has said. How long will you refuse to submit to me? Send my people away, so that they may serve me. For if you keep refusing to send my people away, here I am bringing locusts within your boundaries tomorrow. And they will cover the surface of the earth, and it will not be possible to see the ground. They will eat up what escaped the hail and was left for you, and they will eat all your trees that are growing in the field. They will fill your houses, the houses of all your servants, and the houses of all Egypt, to an extent that your fathers and your grandfathers never saw, from the time they have been in this land until today.
With that he turned and went out from Pharaoh. Then Pharaoh's servants said to him,
How long will this man continue to menace us? Send the men away so that they may serve Jehovah their God.
Do you not yet realize that Egypt has been ruined?
So Moses and Aaron were brought back to Pharaoh, and he said to them,
Go, serve Jehovah your God. But just who will be going?
Then Moses said,
We will go with our young people, our old people, our sons, our daughters, our sheep, and our cattle, because we will hold a festival to Jehovah.
He said to them,
If I ever send you and your children away, then Jehovah is indeed with you. It is clear that you intend to do something evil. No, only your men may go and serve Jehovah, for that is what you requested.
With that, they were driven out from before Pharaoh. Jehovah now said to Moses, Stretch out your hand over the land of Egypt for the locusts, so that they may come up over the land of Egypt and eat up all the vegetation of the land, everything that the hail has let remain. At once Moses stretched out his rod over the land of Egypt, and Jehovah caused an east wind to blow on the land, all that day and all night. The morning came, and the east wind brought the locusts. And the locusts came up over all the land of Egypt, and settled down on the whole territory of Egypt. It was extremely severe. Never before had there been so many, nor would there ever be so many again. They covered the surface of the entire land, and the land grew dark with them. They devoured all the vegetation of the land, and all the fruit of the trees that the hail had left. Nothing green was left on the trees, or on the vegetation of the field, in all the land of Egypt. So Pharaoh quickly called Moses and Aaron and said,
I have sinned against Jehovah your God and against you. Now please, pardon my sin, just this once, and plead with Jehovah your God that he just remove this deadly plague from upon me.
So he went out from Pharaoh and pleaded with Jehovah. Then Jehovah caused the wind to shift, and it became a very stiff west wind, and it carried the locusts away and drove them into the Red Sea. Not a single locust remained in all the territory of Egypt. However, Jehovah allowed Pharaoh's heart to become obstinate, and he did not send the Israelites away. Jehovah then said to Moses, Stretch out your hand toward the heavens, so that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, a darkness so thick that it can be felt.
Yeah.
Moses immediately stretched out his hand toward the heavens, and there was a dense darkness in all the land of Egypt for 3 days. They did not see one another, and none of them got up from where they were for 3 days. But all the Israelites had light in their dwellings. Pharaoh then called Moses and said,
Go, serve Jehovah. Only your sheep and your cattle will remain behind. Even your children may go with you.
But Moses said,
You yourself will also provide us with sacrifices and burnt offerings, and we will offer them to Jehovah our God. Our livestock will also go with us. Not an animal will be allowed to remain, because we will be using some of them to worship Jehovah our God.
Hey, Jenny. Hope it goes well.
And we do not know what we will offer in worship to Jehovah until we arrive there.
So Jehovah allowed Pharaoh's heart to become obstinate,
Mm.
and he did not consent to send them away. Pharaoh said to him,
Get out of my sight. Make sure that you do not try to see my face again. For on the day you see my face, you will die.
To this Moses said,
Just as you have spoken, I will not try to see your face again.
Chapter 11. Then Jehovah said to Moses,
You're
One
welcome.
more plague I'm going to bring upon Pharaoh
Uh-oh.
and Egypt. After that, he
Oh,
will
no.
send you away
No.
from...
Just stop. We're not reading that just yet. We will soon. Lesson 21. The 10th plague.
Lesson 21. The 10th plague. Moses promised Pharaoh that he would not try to see him again. But before he left, he told Pharaoh, At midnight, every firstborn child in Egypt, from the son of Pharaoh to the sons of the slaves, will die. Jehovah told the Israelites to have a special meal. He said, Kill a 1-year-old male sheep or goat and put some of its blood on your doorway. Roast the meat and eat it along with unleavened bread. Be dressed with your sandals on, ready to go. This night I will set you free. Can you imagine how excited the Israelites must have been? At midnight, Jehovah's angel went to every house in Egypt. In the houses that were not marked with blood on the doorway, the firstborn died. But
Judith, it's creations. Just like, yeah, it's creations.
the angel passed over the houses marked with blood. Every Egyptian family, rich and poor, lost a child. But not one of the Israelite children died. Even Pharaoh's own son was dead. Pharaoh could not take it anymore. he immediately told Moses and Aaron, "Get up, get out of here, go and worship your God. Take your animals and go." Under a full moon, the Israelites marched out of Egypt.
The thing is, he still tried to get them back.
By family and tribe. There were 600,000 Israelite men and many women and children. Also, a lot of other people went with them so that they could worship Jehovah too. The Israelites were free at last. To remember how Jehovah had saved them, they would have that same special meal each year. It was called the Passover. For this very reason I have let you remain, to show my power in connection with you, and to have my name declared in all the earth. Romans 9:17.
Okay, Exodus chapter 11, 1 through 12. I'm sorry. Exodus chapter 1, verse 1 through chapter 12, verse 42. It's kind of complicated.
Chapter 11. Then Jehovah said to Moses, "One more plague I am going to bring upon Pharaoh in Egypt. After that, he will send you away from here. When he does send you away, he will literally drive you out of here. Now tell the people that all the men and women should ask their neighbor for articles of silver and of gold." And Jehovah gave the people favor in the eyes of the Egyptians. Moreover, Moses himself had become highly esteemed in the land of Egypt, among Pharaoh's servants and among the people. Moses said,
This is what Jehovah has said. About midnight I am going out into the midst of Egypt, and every firstborn in the land of Egypt will die. The firstborn of Pharaoh, who is sitting on his throne, to the firstborn of the slave girl who is working at the handmill, and every firstborn of the livestock. Throughout all the land of Egypt there will be a great outcry, such as has never occurred nor ever occur again. But not even a dog will bark at the Israelites, at the men or their livestock, so that you may know that Jehovah can make a distinction between the Egyptians and the Israelites. And all your servants will certainly come down to me and prostrate themselves to me, saying, "Go, you and all the people who follow you." And after that, I will go out.
With that, he went out from Pharaoh in the heat of anger. Jehovah then said to Moses, "Pharaoh will not listen to you, in order for my miracles to be multiplied in the land of Egypt." Moses and Aaron performed all these miracles before Pharaoh, but Jehovah allowed Pharaoh's heart to become obstinate, so that he did not send the Israelites away from his land. Chapter 12. Jehovah now said to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, "This month will be the beginning of the months for you. It will be the first of the months of the year for you.
Oh, we didn't read the question.
Speak to the entire assembly of Israel, saying, on the 10th day of this month, they should each take for themselves a sheep for their father's house, a sheep to a house. But if the household is too small for the sheep, they and their nearest neighbor should share it between themselves in their house, according to the number of people. When making the calculation, determine how much of the sheep each one will eat. Your sheep should be a sound, 1-year-old male. You may choose from the young rams or from the goats. You must care for it until the 14th day of this month, and the whole congregation of the assembly of Israel must slaughter it at twilight. They must take some of the blood and splash it on the 2 doorposts and the upper part of the doorway of the houses in which they eat it. They must eat the meat on this night. They should roast it over the fire and eat it along with unleavened bread and bitter greens. Do not eat any of it raw or boiled, cooked in water, but roast it over the fire, its head together with its shanks and its inner parts. You must not save any of it until morning, but any of it left over until morning you should burn with fire. And this is how you should eat it, with your belt fastened, sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. And you should eat it in a hurry. It is Jehovah's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt on this night, and strike every firstborn in the land of Egypt, from man to beast. And I will execute judgment on all the gods of Egypt. I am Jehovah. The blood will serve as your sign on the houses where you are. And I will see the blood and pass over you, and the plague will not come on you to destroy you when I strike the land of Egypt. This day will serve as a memorial for you, and you must celebrate it as a festival to Jehovah throughout your generations. As a lasting statute, you should celebrate it. 7 days you are to eat unleavened bread. Yes, on the first day, you are to remove the sourdough from your houses, because anyone eating what is leavened from the first day down to the 7th, that person must be cut off from Israel. On the first day, you will hold a holy convention, and on the 7th day, another holy convention. No work is to be done on these days. Only what every person needs to eat, that alone may be prepared for you. You must keep the festival of unleavened bread, for on this very day I will bring your multitudes out of the land of Egypt. And you must keep this day throughout your generations as a lasting statute. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, in the evening, you are to eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month, in the evening. No sourdough is to be found in your houses for 7 days, because if anyone eats what is leavened, whether he is a foreigner or a native of the land, that person must be cut off from the assembly of Israel. You should not eat anything leavened. In all your homes, you are to eat unleavened bread. Moses promptly called all the elders of Israel and said to them,
Go and select young animals for each of your families and slaughter the Passover sacrifice. Then you must dip a bunch of hyssop into the blood that is in a basin, and strike the upper part of the doorway and the 2 doorposts with the blood. And none of you should go out of the entrance of his house until morning. Then when Jehovah passes through to plague the Egyptians and sees the blood on the upper part of the doorway and on the 2 doorposts, Jehovah will certainly pass over the entrance, and he will not allow the plague of death to enter into your houses. You must observe this event as a lasting regulation for you and your sons. And when you come into the land that Jehovah will give you, just as he has stated, you must keep this observance. And when your sons ask you, what does this observance mean to you? You must say, it is the sacrifice of the Passover to Jehovah, passed over the houses of the Israelites in Egypt when he plagued the Egyptians. But he spared our houses.
Then the people bowed low and prostrated themselves. So the Israelites went and did just as Jehovah had commanded Moses and Aaron. Then at midnight, Jehovah struck down every firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh, who was sitting on his throne, to the firstborn of the captive, who was in the prison, and every firstborn of the animals. Pharaoh up that night, along with all his servants and all the other Egyptians. And there was great outcry among the Egyptians, because there was not a house where someone was not dead. At once he called Moses and Aaron by night.
Get up. Get out from among my people, both you and the other Israelites. Go and serve Jehovah, just as you have said. Take also your flocks and your herds and go, just as you have said. But you must also bless me.
And the Egyptians began to urge the people to depart quickly, because, as they said, we are all as good as dead. So the people carried their flour dough before it was leavened, with their kneading troughs wrapped up in their clothing on their shoulder. The Israelites did what Moses had told them, and asked the Egyptians for articles of silver and of gold, as well as clothing. Jehovah gave the people favor in the eyes of the Egyptians, so that they gave them what they asked for, and they plundered the Egyptians. Then the Israelites departed from Ramesses for Succoth, about 600,000 men on foot, besides children, and a vast mixed company also went with them, as well as flocks and herds, a great number of livestock. They began to bake the dough that they brought from Egypt into round loaves of unleavened bread. It was not leavened, because they had been driven out of Egypt so suddenly that they had not prepared any provisions for themselves. The dwelling of the Israelites who had dwelled in Egypt was 430 years. At the end of the 430 years, on this very day, all the multitudes of Jehovah went out of the land of Egypt. It is a night on which they will celebrate Jehovah's bringing them out of the land of Egypt. This night is to be observed to Jehovah by all the people of Israel throughout their generations. Then Jehovah said to Moses and Aaron, "This is the statute of the Passover. No foreigner may eat of it. But if someone has a slave man who was purchased with money, you should circumcise him. Only then may he share in eating it. A settler and a hired worker may not eat of it. In one house it is to be eaten. You must not take any of the meat outside of the house, and you must not break any of its bones. All the assembly of Israel are to celebrate it. If a foreigner resides with you, and he wants to celebrate the Passover to Jehovah, every male of his must be circumcised. Then he may come near to celebrate it, and he will become like a native of the land. But no uncircumcised man may eat of it. One law will apply for the native and for the foreigner who is residing among you." So all the Israelites did just as Jehovah had commanded Moses and Aaron. They did just so. On this very day, Jehovah brought the Israelites along with their multitudes to the land of Egypt.
Yep. Well, we're supposed to only read up to 42, but, I just let it go. Chapter 13, verses 3 through 10 reads, "Then Moses said to the people, 'Remember this day on which you were out of Egypt from the house of slavery, because with a mighty hand Jehovah brought you out of there. So nothing leavened may be eaten. You are going out on this day in the month of Abib, when Jehovah had brought you into the land of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Hivites, and Jebusites, which he swore to your forefathers to give you, a land flowing with milk and honey. Then you must keep this observance in this month. 7 days you are to eat unleavened bread, and on the seventh day there will be a festival to Jehovah. Unleavened bread, this to be eaten for the 7 days, and nothing leavened is to be found with you. And no sourdough is to be found with you within all the territory. And you must tell your son on this day, it is because of what Jehovah did for me when I came out of Egypt, and this will serve for you as a sign on your hand, and as a memorial on your forehead, so that Jehovah's law may be in your mouth, for which a mighty hand Jehovah brought you out of Egypt. You must keep this statute at its appointed time from year to year. What was the 10th plague? All the firstborns of all people, both rich and poor, slaves, animals of everything, everybody, the firstborn will die. What did the Israelites have to do to protect themselves from the plague? They took the blood from their goat or the animal that they butchered so they can roast it and eat it. They took the blood and put it over the doorway and stuff to protect them. Yep. That's what they did. So I have to go. I gotta go potty again, like bad. And I will see you later. Painting with Michelle today. Love, don't judge. Until next time, my jelly beans. Peace out.